I got a good feeling I'm the only loser who did it. Did any of you follow Passon on Instagram?
Let's just jump right into it. December 1st. We are how many days away from winter meetings, Pat? You're gonna know the top of your
Start
head.
Sunday, so 3 days.
3 days away from winter meetings, and then we can actually maybe finally start hearing some stuff happen. But in the meantime, we've had stuff also happen. So we're gonna talk about them. I'm Coop. We got Pat, we got Murph, and we got Westy out in Chicago. And we're just gonna break some stuff down for you. So let's just jump right into it. Pat, you're up first, buddy.
I'm up. Oh,
You're
God.
up.
I feel like I never kick things off. Okay. First things first, obviously, last week, Jose Abreu to the Houston Astros, which I don't know how you guys feel. I think that's a massive overpay. 3 for 60. I think the final number is like 3 for 58 point something, but 3 for 60 for a
He's how old?
35-year-old DH.
I was shocked he's 35. Gun to my head, was
35-year-old
like
DH.
I don't know.
29 last
You have
week.
you have a beard like that. You got to be old.
I was
Yeah,
That's an old man beard.
yeah. But so they go out to get Jose
a
Abreu.
young name though. Jose's a young
Which-
name.
Is it Josie?
Name an old Jose.
Canseco.
Doesn't count.
Why? Why? What?
He did steroids. Doesn't count.
No, we're gonna get to that. But yeah, I like the deal doesn't really make too much sense to me. Is there any like
Yeah.
team? Is it team friendly? Like, does the team have opt outs? Like,
No, I think it's just 3 straight up for a little under 60. The final number came out today. It was like 58.6 or something. But so they go. I mean, no matter what way you spit it, though, it's an immediate upgrade. They had Trey Mancini, who forgot how to play baseball when he got to Houston, and a third. Murph, if that's
hey, he had a hit in the playoffs.
Yuli Gurriel being 38.
Yeah, no, I got that one like last postseason. It was like,
Yeah,
no, he's
so-
not. I
Yeah.
will have guessed Yuli Gurriel is like 24.
Yeah.
How
so
old's his brother?
Lourdes, 30 maybe.
Is he that much younger?
Yeah,
Because
I think so.
I knew he was like young, but like I didn't expect Yuli to be so old.
Yeah, no, I think Lourdes is right around 30.
Bro, talk
Give it-
about some awful haircuts between those brothers. Look
Yeah.
like thing 1 and thing
They're-
2.
It's troll dolls. They're just
Yeah.
troll dolls. Like whenever you see them like spike it all the way up.
Yeah, dude, it's horrific. Like, I've seen them stand for like the national anthem or whatever. 1, they should be kneeling, and 2, just that like they got the reach for the stars. Like, I don't know, it looks
Yeah, Andy?
uncomfortable.
Or Woody. You'd be Woody if you were saying that.
Woody who?
Reach for the stars.
Oh, is that from a movie?
Dude, what?
Yeah. What?
Toy Story?
What?
Did you ever watch
Oh.
Toy? I feel like your family wasn't a big Pixar family.
I've only seen the 3rd and 4th Toy Stories.
That
Stories.
makes absolutely zero sense.
Yeah, I haven't
That
seen the
makes
1st or
negative sense.
2nd.
I'm man enough to say I cried at the 3rd one.
Oh, when like Fozzo or whatever the bear like kills him.
He was the
Spoiler
villain.
alert. Yeah. No, yeah. When he like starts throwing the toys and like
All
the
my
trash
homies
comes
hate
at you.
Lotso.
Yeah, Lotso. Was it Lotso Hugs?
Lots
Huggins?
of hugging bear.
Lots of Hugging Bear, yeah.
Smell like
Yeah.
strawberries.
All-time
That
villain.
little
All-time
that
villain.
bastard.
But yeah, like
But yeah,
I'm
so
glad
Jose,
the Red Sox were supposed to take him. I'm glad the Red Sox didn't take him.
yeah,
For
I
that
was
money,
cool.
absolutely.
Yeah, I was cool with. I was initially, before I saw the number, was pretty pissed, and then I saw the number, knowing that there's no income tax in Texas. The Sox realistically probably have had to offer like 22 to 25 to really sway him. That's disgusting. It's not worth it. So they get a year, Coop, a year.
A year?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. You looked very confused.
Well, no, I was about to say, like, what do you think this does for Verlander?
Oh, that's what I was kind of getting to. So
Well,
they get
I'm not
Jose,
trying to
they
rush
upgrade it first. Every single, like, rumors are rumors until they come true, but Heyman, Morosi, Passan, Olney, they all say that Wilson Contreras to Houston's pretty inevitable too. That's going to be a big shell out, even more so than Jose Abreu. And I think Verlander's done. I think he's going to the Dodgers.
Dodgers. I could see him trying to finish things out in LA.
I get they have the pitching depth. They have Framber, they have Garcia, Urquidy, Christian Javier. Hunter Brown's going to be a stud. But I don't know at what point is it irrational to just for the AL Cy Young. He had a sub-2 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's the Patriots letting Brady walk.
Exactly.
That's the equivalent.
Like, I feel like having Framber next up in line as the quote-unquote ace.
No.
Having Framber up as the quote-unquote ace after Verlander is like letting Brady walk because you have Andy Dalton on the bench.
No, that's not. I feel like that's a slap in the face to Framber Valdez.
It kind of is. He's better than Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
Either way.
he's
but
more.
I don't know how much you can trust pitching depth that is relatively unproven. Hunter Brown, Jose Urquidy was a little swing guy, bullpen, couple starts. But you just had the AL Cy Young winner on your team. You just won the Cy Young, and you're just all set. You're not going to try and bring him back?
I feel like Valdez is more of like a Jameis Winston.
No, that's a bigger slap in the face.
One of
probably
one.
like a Kirk Cousins.
Like
One of one.
Kirk Cousins. But
there's no one like Jameis.
But that being said, if the Astros go and get Wilson Contreras and they run a lineup of Wilson Contreras, Jose Abreu, Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena, Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, Chas McCormick, and Yordan Alvarez, that should be illegal.
This is like the Jesse Pinkman. Like they can't keep letting him get away.
They can't keep getting away with it.
I love that we both fumbled on that.
No, you fumbled. I mopped up.
You fumbled it as well.
They can't keep getting away with this. That's the exact quote.
You fumbled it like Jameis.
Anyway. Yeah, but that lineup is like half of an all-star team.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Westy, any thoughts on seeing Contreras go to Houston?
I'd hate that a lot. I thought he was going to go there during the regular season before they got Vasquez, which was just a weird move because they barely played him in the postseason. Very weird. I guess if they just want to keep adding everyone, like making each position as best as possible, like sure, go ahead and sign Wilson Contreras. I feel like the catcher market is just weird because there's like 4 or 5 catchers at the top, and then it's like everyone else. So what he would get paid would be similar to what JT Real Muto gets, or like those guys. But I don't know what the market exactly would be for him. So I feel like a lot of teams could use a catcher.
Little pick me up for Westy. A lot of rumors today about the Cubs wanting Christian Vasquez.
Cool.
I mean, no matter what the Cubs are going to be sad next year. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're going to be in on Trey Turner and Correa. They're going to wind up with Andrelton Simmons and Gene Segura.
But I mean, the White Sox are kind of making moves, so that's
Clevenger for $12 million.
Team.
Yeah, they just got rid of Jose Abreu.
Clevenger for $12 million is asinine.
Yeah, but he also might be damaged goods. I don't know if they've finished.
No, I'm saying they overpaid.
Oh, yeah, because he hasn't done much since Cleveland.
He had 4.5 last year. The year before,
he's been injury
Tommy
prone.
John. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not buying it. But the whole White Sox rotation is just a bunch of who knows. It's just
well, you said rotation. We're not talking entire pitching staff. We got to respect the pitching staff.
Put some respect on
bullpen's good.
Bullpen's great, dude.
Bullpen's great. They got a lot of good stars out there. Yeah.
Great
does that wrap up everything for you, Pat?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah?
Well, kind of, but
keep going, Pat. Keep going. You're on a roll.
Okay. But since they fired the GM, I can't think of his name right now.
Click.
James Click. Supposedly Jeff Bagwell's the acting GM.
Yeah.
With Jim Crane. That's crazy.
Jeff Bagwell was part of that 2005 team, was he not?
Yeah, no, he was.
Yeah, so he knows winning.
he was a special advisor to the front office, giving like an ex-player perspective. Now all of a sudden he's signing contracts.
Why not, dude? Let a player throw some money around. They know what players want.
Yeah, get
Well,
Willie
players
go wrong with
Mopena.
that.
Get Willie Mopena up in the booth with time.
Yo, that'd be awesome.
I mean, I'm down for a player doing that, but like a University of Hartford graduate.
All right, all right. That's enough.
All right, and that's going to be the final say on that topic. We're going to be moving on. Westy,
Yikes.
shortstops.
Yeah, so we just kind of alluded to it. We quickly talked about the shortstops. The shortstop market is one position that's very hot because there are four top shortstops, four franchise cornerstones, if you will, that could be available or that are available. Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, Dansby Swanson, and of course Xander Bogaerts. None of them have signed yet. They're all still free agents. It's kind of still up in the air with a lot of them. For what I read about Trey Turner, him and the Phillies is gaining a lot of traction. Apparently, the Phillies really like him and really want him to be their shortstop for the future, for the near future. Carlos Correa and Dansby Swanson seem like a return to where they were last year is pretty inevitable, at least for Correa. Swanson's still kind of in the air. He's got a lot of options, I think. He's a little younger than some of these other guys, so he has plenty of options.
Is Correa supposed to go back to Minnesota?
No.
They're supposedly like going hard to keep him, but I don't know if they're necessarily like. I think they're the only team with like defined interest in him.
Yeah, and I meant that in terms of like they really want him back, but does he want to go back?
Oh, gotcha.
Like they're like yes, we want, like their priority is to go after him, but they're going to have other options. Like Xander apparently is their number 2 option if they don't get Carlos. And that leaves Xander, where our boy Xander is kind of getting thrown around everywhere. I mean, like apparently San Diego touched base with Scott Boras the other day. Like I said, Minnesota has him as their number 2. From what I listened to a podcast with Buster Olney yesterday, that was released yesterday. Apparently,
Great podcast.
If the Yankees swing and miss on Judge, then they're going to go after Bogaerts or even Turner as like a franchise guy. Which, if I see Xander Bogaerts in the pinstripes in the Bronx, I may quit baseball. Because that would really hurt my soul.
I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't.
They're a friend of the program, but where the heck did Pat go?
No, Buster was and what Buster was saying was making sense. Like they're going to spend, or they should spend at least, because they're the New York Yankees. So if they somehow miss on their MVP, they're going to have to go and spend money elsewhere. So it could be for a shortstop like Turner, who I think would fit great. As much as I hate to admit it, he would fit great in that team.
He's a Yankee. When he was in DC, he didn't have the best stories about him. And I can completely see him becoming
I mean, the man doesn't even have facial hair anyway, so he's
a boy.
in.
He's a boy.
He's got that baby face.
Put that boy in pinstripes.
Mm-hmm.
What, man?
I didn't like the emphasis you put on boy right there.
Boy.
Put that boy.
Put that boy.
Yeah, but it seems like it's all this. It's all.
See how
It's
slippery
like
his slide is, how slippery his cheeks are. Give him that uke.
But it seems like it's all the same teams in these shortstops. Like it's the Phillies, it's the Cubs that are apparently interested in all 4 of these guys. The Dodgers, if they lose Turner, they're going to try to go after someone. If the Giants don't get Judge, they might go after Correa or Dansby. And even the Dodgers, like they might try to replace Turner, like I said, and Minnesota's going to look to replace Correa. It's like, wow, it's like, oh, Minnesota's interested in these other shortstops if they can't get the shortstop they've had. And the Dodgers are also like, well, we want to replace our shortstop if we lose the shortstop that we had. So like they might
just sign your guy. Like I don't understand any of this. Yeah. And you're probably going to be signing them for all like roughly the same amount. They're all the same age. So why don't we all just like have a tacit agreement? We do what the Yankees and Mets did with collusion, and we just say we're going to sign our own guys. You know, happy world. The Yankees and Mets can get away with it. Why can't the rest of the MLB?
It'd be nice. It'd be very nice.
But I also feel like Carlos just doesn't want any part of Minnesota. I feel like he got a taste of like,
Yeah,
hey,
no,
like
I think
we're a one and done organization when it comes to the playoffs. So I just don't want any part of that. Like you can't go from Houston where you're a world beater every single year and then just go up to Minnesota where it's cold, you don't have a roof, and like you're just losing. So
yeah, I think
I just don't see
Correa.
him wanting there.
Yeah, I think Correa went to Minnesota. I don't think he really cared this year if they competed. Honestly, I think he got his 33 million in knowing that he would be going to the Dodgers, the Giants, Padres, wherever the next year, and actually competing for a bigger bag.
Which like that
But
kind of stinks because it kind of ruins the whole like. And not saying I don't want Xander to get paid, but because of how much like Carlos got paid, it sets like the precedent that like a superstar shortstop should be getting like above 30 a year or roughly around 30 a year.
Mhm.
So
I also think that in the shortstop market, I think Correa and Turner are going to get by far the biggest contracts. I think they probably get around 30, maybe a little bit more, that 30 to 32 range. I think Xander probably falls somewhere in that 26 to 30. And I think, honestly, I think Dansby's going to sign a contract that looks a lot like what Javi Baez and Story signed last year, like the 6 for 140.
if I were a betting man, I would say that Xander Bogaerts would probably get 26 to 28 million a year, somewhere around the 7-year mark. 7 might be a stretch. He might be able to work it out, and it's going to be front loaded so that Heim can now start paying people down the road. There's money off the books. They can do that front loaded contract. So I could see something like that happening. That's
Also,
my thought.
if I had money, which I don't,
congrats.
if I were a betting man, which I am, I would throw the mortgage on Trey Turner being a Philadelphia Philly.
Yeah, wasn't there a report today that came out that
There's been reports since he was still actively playing in the playoffs that like Trey Turner to the Phillies is the move that's going to happen.
there was like a sure one from Heyman. I don't know if you just mentioned that or not, Westy, but there was like a sure report from I think Heyman or Rosenthal that was like the Phillies are like heavily in on him. Which like again, like I tweeted this yesterday where like I don't like the speculation thing. Like every time there's a report, like every 12 hours, it contradicts the last report. So you don't really know anything until like the ink is actually like dried.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's all
I feel like there's like,
speculation.
I feel like there's like the rumors that come out of nowhere that are like wild. I feel like you kind of look at it. Yeah, like Gammo, you're like, all right, that's bullshit. But like a move on paper that just fits like a puzzle piece, like a Trey Turner to Philly, you're like, okay, like I'm buying that. That makes sense.
I think my least favorite part about like rumors and speculation is how like one guy like on Monday or Tuesday will be like, oh, like Trey Turner and Phillies are gaining traction, and then Wednesday someone's like, oh, it's in serious talks. Like, what's the difference? Like, you're just changing the wording around. Like, you just want to have your own unique thing. Like,
I also don't get the point of it because it's like it's the agent and like the organization putting like floating these rumors out to people or like people within the organization where it's kind of like you're just doing this to try and get news out there to have people pick sides. And at the end of the day, like I don't know, I really don't care as long as like the Red Sox get their guy. I might be different in that. Like I don't care as much about like, oh, you didn't leave as much like millions on the books for like, you know, a steal or like a diamond in the rough like Heim likes to get. But like I really don't care. Just sign Xander. Sign like a good guy. Like at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm still gonna buy a ticket to go see these guys play.
Yeah. I think. Oh, sorry. What's the?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the best was like 2 years ago at the deadline. I think it was Nightingale and Heyman. I don't know if anybody else remembers this. They got into like a source off about the Scherzer and Trey Turner trade.
Mm-hmm.
Nightingale was like, "Oh yeah, they're going to the Padres. It's done." And Heyman's like, "I'm hearing the Dodgers." And for like an hour straight, they were just like fighting to like validate their sources. In it was literally just like my entire feed was subtweeting. Nightingale's like, deal is done. They're both going to San Diego. 2 minutes later, Heyman's like, contradictory to some reports out there, Nightingale was the only dude tweeting it. I'm hearing Dodgers. And it literally went on for like 45 minutes until that deal got done. And I feel like that's the whole offseason. But like that's the entire offseason. It's just dudes like flaunting they have sources. And
Murph, off the top of the dome, can you give me a Pete Gammo tweet? Like, Just something he would tweet just off the top of the dome.
I mean, just something like I'd like to see Manny Ramirez back in like Boston, somewhere on the coaching staff. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of. Just some.
That's good enough.
I don't know. Something dumb.
I feel like if you
He's
made
having
like
fun over in
a
Taiwan.
burner fake Gammo, like you could probably be spot on with like what he would tweet out. Which like love Gammo. He's the king of the beat, but
yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, just change the anything but E name to Pete Gammons, and whatever comes out of Murph's mouth is believable as Pete Gammons.
I would love that. I would pay the $8 to have you verified for that.
All right, I'm gonna pay $8 and do that after this. I'm gonna read like the last 10 tweets and just start spelling shit.
It's like sources tell me Ryan Lavarnway coming back to Boston.
Yeah.
All right, let's. All right, Westy, anything else on the topic, or do you want to move on?
No, the last point I just wanted to make, I made some like small notes here about like what rumors are for like what they're saying about this player to this team, and just my Xander to Boston, it just says please Heim in big letters.
That's all.
That's
all
all
at this point.
Because like please Heim, just pay him.
Murph.
I don't care about the World Baseball Classic. I'll say it. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. I don't care that Logan Webb signed to it. Like, I don't care about the World Cup. The Olympics are only cool if they're in a country with like
Olympics aren't cool anymore.
Palm trees.
Wait.
So you can see like the skiing next to palm trees.
Murph, let me ask you this.
No, you can't ask me. No, I'm not going to let you ask you.
You tell me the honest difference between the World Baseball Classic and the Ryder Cup right now.
The honest difference?
It's the same idea.
Different sports.
No, Ryder Cup is exciting. And the World Baseball Classic is a snooze fest that I think if nobody tweeted about it, then I wouldn't know about it.
Did you watch any of the last one?
Last World Baseball Classic?
Yeah.
Was it last year or was it in like 2014?
No, it was a while ago. I think
it was my freshman year of college. It was 2016.
I was going to say 2016,
Yeah, I think Danny Duffy was the ace of the staff.
So right there.
Was it Adam Jones that robbed the home run in center field?
Yeah, he robbed Manny Machado, center field, Dodger Stadium. Yeah.
No, it was San Diego.
Team Israel coming out of nowhere with their mensch on the bench.
Is that real? Did they call him a mensch on a bench?
Yeah, they had a mascot called the mensch on the bench.
Mensch on the bench.
That's funny.
I'm pretty sure the Hebrew Hammer, Braun, is going to be like the coach of the team or like assistant coach or something.
Yeah. What do you call it? Coached it last year. Sam Fold.
Last year? You mean like the Olympics?
The Olympics, yeah. Team Israel. Oh no! What do you call it? Coaching. What do you call it? Coaching? I thought.
What do you call it? I love him.
Kinsler, I thought was coaching.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember that was a big surprise. I didn't realize that I don't know if he has actual like Israeli like citizenship
Israeli
or if that's like. No, like I knew he was Jewish, but like.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I don't know how that works. Do you have to have citizenship, or are they kind of like the birthright type thing where they accept everyone?
I think it's just like if you have like lineage or like heritage from there, I think
they'll take you. Okay.
I think so, yeah. Because I think that's why like what do you call it? Is pitch because Marcus Stroman last World Baseball Classic pitched for America, and now he's pitching for Puerto Rico, I think.
That's different.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
he should have. Well, I don't want to say that it's stupid because like he can pitch for like somewhere where he has ties to, but it's stupid, dude. Like,
no, it is stupid.
I feel like as soon as you make your ties to a country, like for sports, athletics, whatever, like you got to stick to that.
Wait till I tell you about Serge Ibaka.
It's what they do in FIFA. Like you have when you turn 18, you have to pick which team you're going to play nationally for. You can't just switch teams in the middle of your career. Like that's kind of dumb. So I kind of agree. I agree with you on that.
Also,
but that's like the same thing.
Part of America, so
that's also true. That's
But the same thing.
Paper on Puerto Rico needing to be a state. Maybe I'll bring that up.
It shouldn't, because then our ugly flag would even look uglier.
Touche.
America
has a better flag than the U.S. So let's be honest on that.
America needs a new. Bhutan is just some random Asian country. They've got a dragon on their flag. Wales has a dragon. Kenya, I think, has like this cool mask. Uganda's got a chicken. We don't
We
have
should kick
shit.
it back to Ben Franklin, who wanted the turkey on the American flag. That would have been a
Turkey.
We'd
move.
have to
Turkey would've been
change
cool.
Thanksgiving probably.
But yeah, the team that the U.S. put together this year is awesome. Like you have Mike Trout,
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, and Aaron Judge all playing the outfield. Like that alone should like make you excited about that. And you're still just like, meh.
Don't care.
Nolan Arenado,
Aaron-
Trevor Story reuniting.
Don't
Aaron
care.
Judge didn't commit, did
We
he?
got TA7 playing shortstop. That's gonna be a
Aaron
fun
Judge-
team.
Don't
Aaron
care.
Judge didn't commit yet.
I thought he did.
No, outfield right now is
Is
Betts,
it not?
Betts, Trout, Tucker
Is
with
it?
Cedric Mullins, Tim Anderson, Story. Double check me, but I didn't think Judge, unless that was recent. But
I don't
Judge
think
committed yet.
Judge committed. I haven't heard
Yeah.
about that. At least.
Yeah,
Type.
Golf is also global the whole year. They have the Open over in Britain. You have the race to Dubai. the
Golf
whole
courses are
year.
an ecological disaster.
No, they aren't. They're pretty. And then they go and play in Mexico. They have the RBC Canadian Open. So, like, knowing that, like, a Canadian won
Ken
the
Griffey
Masters,
Jr. is the
or,
hitting
like,
coach of Team USA. Are you kidding me? Come on.
let's
Come
go.
on.
Oh, cool. So they all wear backwards hats during fucking warm-ups.
Would you say bucket hat?
I'm wearing this because I didn't shower before this, and I wore a beanie all day, so my hair was really flat, and I was like, the bucket hat will be fun.
I love the
I also
Conan
put on
voice.
a hoodie because I'm wearing the baseball isn't boring t-shirt, and I didn't want to seem like a homer.
Rock that proudly, dude.
No, there was a lot going on with this gray sweatshirt, weird hat choice, actually. But like golf's already international, so like elevating the international aspect makes it sick. You don't like, I don't know, watching baseball, it's not like, and a ground ball to the Aruban Dutch shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Like there's I don't know, it's all America, especially when Toronto plays in Buffalo. Like the making it international just doesn't, I don't know.
But if you look at some South American countries, like I think a team like Venezuela was going to have a lot of cool players on it. I think a team like,
They're
the
going to
Dominican
fight
Republic,
people.
hello, that team's going to be nasty.
Which
The
one?
Venezuelans are going to fight people.
The Dominican Republic.
Oh, DR is nasty. Cube is gross.
Cuba's going to be good. Like I think that's the cool thing. I think the great thing about it is that
Which,
you
by
see.
the way, we got Nestor the other day. We stole him away from Cuba. Shout out.
Shouts
Yeah.
out to that. I did see that as well. I kind of get I get where you're coming from, Murph, and the fact that like it's an American sport, so like we should win, or it's like the best talent will be on our team. Kind of like how when we go to play basketball, the Olympics, it's like if you don't win, that's kind of like a what the heck are you doing? Like you're a failure.
Okay,
Well-
hand up. It was Harper, not Judge.
Harper.
Yeah.
Harper.
Okay,
Who's
Trout,
out?
Harper,
I would
and
assume.
Betts in the outfield.
All right, do you want me? All right, I'm gonna run through the roster right now. So
Yes.
at catcher, we have JT Real Muto and Will
Yes.
Smith. First base, Pete Alonso, Paul Goldschmidt. MVP, by the way.
MVP.
Second
Goldschmidt.
base, Trevor Story. They didn't even want to get another second baseman because Trevor Story is so legit. Third base,
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado, Bobby Witt Jr., shortstops, Tim Anderson. Outfield, we got Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper, Cedric Mullins, Mike Trout, Kyle Tucker. Starting pitcher, Merrill Kelly, David Bednar, Dylan Tate, Devin Williams, and then they also got Waino and Nestor this past weekend.
And
is
Logan
the
Webb.
line.
Logan Webb
Oh,
today.
Logan Webb, yeah.
And they
So-
got Ryan Presley in the
Ryan Presley in the pen, yeah.
Dominant.
Yeah. It sucks
So,
that Harper won't play, though.
Yeah.
So-
Which
yeah,
like
so it
maybe
sucks.
that's Judge figures out where he's gonna play. He
Yeah.
gets the bag. He goes and commits to the World Baseball Classic, shoves it right in Murph's face.
It also sucks that we
Where's,
have to watch
Coop?
Kyle Tucker with his stupid shooting sleeve on his right arm.
Coop, do you know where
I hate
the
him.
U.S. pool is playing?
I would imagine that they're gonna be in Miami, no?
No, they're not Miami.
They should play in
No.
Colorado for all the home runs.
I'm
Make
pretty
the-
sure Miami's Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, Israel, and the Dominican Republic or Cuba. I can't remember which.
Oh yeah, Trey Turner's also on the U.S. roster too. Don't forget about him.
Which
Is
country
he?
has won the most World Baseball Classic?
It has to be Dominican.
Intercontinental Stadium.
My next question was going to be, how many World Baseball Classics have there been?
Yeah, and then I was going to ask, all right, so it's a Dominican. How many
I'm on
have
it.
they won? No, don't look it up. How many have they won?
Who? Dominican?
Yeah.
I would guess the Dominican has won 3.
Okay, so they're the
Been that
most.
many?
They won the second to last one, if I'm correct.
Who won the most World Series?
Puerto Rico.
Who has won the most World
Puerto
Series?
Rico can't win a World
World
Series. It's pretty
Series.
USA,
obvious.
baby.
Yeah, which MLB team has won the most World Series?
The Yankees.
How many?
27.
How many? Who has the second most?
The
Cardinals.
How many?
9.
I thought it was 12.
12.
Yo,
12.
I hope the
It's
U.S.
11.
gets to play
But
Great Britain.
either way, the fact that I just was trying to point out that we're guessing it's the Dominican and guessing it's 3, and then you could probably rip like the top 5, 6, 10 World Series winners. It's like because nobody gives a shit about the World Baseball Classic. You don't know
No,
its
that's a
history.
lie. The U.S. is in
It's
group.
like, you just want a home run derby in the middle of the winter. Cancel the tournament, have a home run derby instead.
I mean, they just did that down in the Dominican.
I know, but wasn't that the dumb Johnny Gomes ex home run derby?
No. This was this was Lidome. Lidome is a Lidome. Is it Lidome or Lidome? But the U.S. is going to be in Pool C. They also have Mexico, Colombia, Canada, and Great Britain in that pool. I hope we get a U.S. England face off, and that's going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Baseball?
Into baseball.
See, that sounds
Canada
stupid.
might have a decent team.
England.
If James Paxton can play.
Well, they have Freddie Freeman, Votto, Cal Quantrill, Nick Pivetta.
Yeah.
I think, Murph, it just has such a young history that we're not able to name so many champions because it's so young still and it's such a young tournament. I feel like it hasn't been around that long.
We lost one too because of COVID.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's been 6 years since the last one, which I think makes the anticipation for this one even greater with all the exciting players that have popped up in the past 6 years that haven't gotten a chance to show themselves on the world stage.
Is Julio
Here's
team
a question.
Dominican?
Julio Rodriguez is Dominican, yeah.
He is.
Here's a question. Is Fernando Tatis eligible to play in the World Baseball Classic?
Yes, he should be.
He absolutely must be, right?
He should.
I would imagine the MLB would strike that down.
They have no control.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's the governing body of the WBC? See, that's the great question. That's another good question.
The UN.
It should be.
Also,
Japan.
Is it the MLB? I mean, that would make the most sense.
I'm
15,000 kilometers.
Every little thing that I've gone on for the World Baseball Classic has been the direct source of the MLB. So I would imagine that the MLB is in charge.
Yeah.
They are not.
They aren't. Who is? Do tell.
IBAF. International
Sounds
Baseball.
Like a bowel syndrome.
When I get dirty, I bath. That's what it sounds like. After I've been rolling around in the mud, I go bath.
Yeah, International Baseball Federation. It's the same governing body that overlooks Olympic qualifiers.
Oh, so the people that just turned a blind eye to Russia's doping.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So Fernando Tatis not only will be playing, he'll be juiced.
Yes. Awesome.
Will the Padres let him play?
I'm sure. Honestly, AJ Prell's probably hoping he gets hurt.
Yeah. But talking about steroids, we're going to move on to our next topic. Roids are back. And I'm not talking about, our friend Liver King. Not talking about him, even though he's doing probably double of what Barry Bonds ever did. We're talking about the baseball. It's the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee, which is just the fancy way of the Baseball Hall trying to get the nerds to finally put in cool people into the Hall of Fame. So this is the equivalent of, what was it before? Was it the Legends
Committee?
Legends Committee? Is that what it was? It's changed names a couple
times. I
times.
was the Players Committee or something like that.
I have no idea. It's changed a couple times. But anyway, they have a select group of voters that will meet. It's a lot like how the NFL does it. The NFL probably has like the best Hall of Fame, I would say, like the voting process. Would you agree on that? Because they at least get like one person in every year. Like they all understand that like, hey, like the best way to promote our sport is to put people in. Unlike the writers who just like sometimes are like, let's not put anyone in.
I think
or maybe
I think
just
the
one person
committee. As I say, I think the committee has a limit on who they can put in every year.
I'm not actually. So I think they've been doing like they do one person from the Negro Leagues, and then one person from like, or at least one person from the Legends.
Yeah, I think they can
Because
only
when
do
we
one a
went-
year.
When we went, how many players did they actually nominate? Was it 3 or 4?
Oh boy, Poppy was the
Because it
only
was
one who got
Poppy. It was Mini
Tony
Jim
Oliva.
Minosa.
Cat, Jim Cat, Oliva, Minoso, Poppy, and then there was one other guy.
There was the dude on
Negro
the
Leagues.
no, there's dude who played for the Dodgers and Mets too.
Oh, Melot.
No,
No.
but yeah, there was like so essentially there was Poppy and then 4 or 5 extra guys.
Yeah. So the guys that are on that ballot, Albert Bell, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Don Mattingly, Fred McGriff, Dale Murphy, Rafael Palmeiro, Kurt Schilling. Unfortunately, Sammy Sosa did not get put on that list. But the guys voting on this include Chipper Jones, Greg Maddux for some players, Theo Epstein for MLB execs, Kim Nee as well. And then from the media side, you have Susan Slusser, Stephen Hurd, and Lavelle Neal. So like we'll see. I think Bonds gets in this way, maybe. I don't know.
I hope so.
I've
been a Bonds fan since I started loving baseball. So I mean, of course, with that, as I was growing up, learning about what steroids were and how he was so speculated. I mean, with the way, like we talk about this all the time when we talk about the Hall of Fame, and we were just literally talking about how baseball likes to shoot themselves in the foot and not promote their own game. So I think you can put Barry in, but you can definitely just put in things about how the first 4 years of the 21st century, like 01-04, how he was putting up ungodly numbers, but there was also some speculation about why he was putting up those numbers. I think to completely turn a blind eye to that era of baseball is just kind of neglecting your own history and not even acknowledging that any of
you
that
can
happened.
literally just put it on the plaque, just say like, despite in the midst of like controversy of like steroid use or potential steroid use, he still like was maybe the best baseball player of all time. Like you can do that. They also have a display like in the actual museum part, which we got to see this year. That, well, not Westy, unfortunately. But like they pretty like, it's pretty like well displayed that like they talk about the whole steroid era. Like it's not like a massive panel and whatnot, but when you take a turn into like the next room, it's like the first thing that you see. Like you have to see it.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while, so I forgot about what was in there. So if I was misquoted, but like again, like to not have players like him, like Clemens, guys who were generational players, played for 20 years. I think they both played for 20 years. They played multiple decades for multiple great franchises. They both made huge impacts on whatever franchise they went to for however long or short they were there.
Hold on, 7 Cy Youngs, correct?
Yeah.
7 Cy Youngs,
And
like
7 MVPs.
like that's insane.
Yeah,
That's legitimately like insane.
And you don't want, and neither of them are in the Hall of Fame.
And also like Bud Selig, who is in the Hall of Fame, knew everything was going on and allowed it to happen. So like,
pour one out.
Yeah.
I also
Rob
feel
Manfred
too.
is also a Hall of Famer, so I don't know how much stock we want to put into Selig.
Who is?
Rob Manfred.
Oh yeah.
The commissioners are automatic, so
yeah. I also feel like just to further justify Clemens and Bonds getting in, especially if you and McGuire and Sosa, if you go through and literally started from like the beginning of baseball up until today and just like had a general synopsis, I don't think that you could accurately tell that story without those players in there. You absolutely can't.
Yeah, I mean, like What's the actual definition of the character clause, or is there an actual like character like?
It is. It's like demonstrates sportsmanship. It's just like a bunch of like generic. Oh,
Very
he's a good
open-ended.
dude.
Like from what I've like read, like every criteria is open-ended. So like
yeah, it's very much up for interpretation, and if the voters don't interpret it the way that everyone else does, then they don't get in.
What about A-Rod this year on the actual ballot?
He won't get in.
No. See, like the thing of like, and that's
because the whole thing is,
it as like a Red Sox fan, like I'm like instantly, I'm like, no, A-Rod doesn't deserve it. But like beyond that, like A-Rod got popped multiple times, and this was after like the league did set like a clear like, hey, like we are going to be outlawing this now, like we are going to be mandating like piss tests and everything. Like, you know, the repercussions, you know that like we no longer are allowing this to happen. It's no longer across the board. So like at that point, I feel like that is like the character clause where it's kind of like, all right, you are openly cheating now.
Yeah, and Bonds and Clemens were never actively caught while they were playing. They were never suspended for steroids. A-Rod was positive twice. I know that's what I'm saying.
Positive.
That's what I'm saying. A-Rod did multiple times.
So yeah. Though Barry also not the best spouse in the world, so there is that against them.
Yeah. Also, completely off topic. Do with this information what you will. But we were talking about Eflin when we got on.
Yeah.
The Red Sox offered him the same exact contract.
Interest Kings.
Interest Kings are back again this winter. Woo!
Yeah, well,
that's also from Nightingale. So
okay, well, all right.
All right, so that didn't happen.
Cool. All right, fake news. Ended on that. All right, tune in another time.